Welcome to the Reddit Rainforest. Don't forget to grab your hat, rope and boots. We are heading into the forest for some loot. Today, what's your revenge on a cheating spouse? After my ex cheated on me, I got her kicked out of college by accidentally exposing how she plagiarized work and sexually harassed people. Got her evicted from her flat by secretly breaking her landlord's sofa bed and making her believe that she broke it. And convinced all our friends to give up on her after showing how she would use them and slag them off behind their backs. As far as I know, she's currently stuck in a state of unemployment with bills coming out of her ass while stuck in a stagnant relationship that her partner refuses to end. Oh, and I changed all of her passwords and recovery settings cause she was stupid enough to give me all of her login malarkey. My fiance thinks I should have just set her sparks on fire, but this was more fun. That week was fun. Very conservative parents. No sex allowed before marriage. So her parents thought she stayed a virgin throughout our relationship. I was her first boyfriend and first sex. So a couple of months after our breakup, I found out that she already dated a guy 3 months before our breakup. We had a long distance relationship, and she told all her friends that I met that we already broke up. So obviously I was angry when I found out. I texted her mom on Facebook and told her that she had sex with me. As proof I sent some screenshot of messages we sent each other talking about sex. Just text, no pictures. I heard that she got kicked out of her parents' home for a while. Changed all the movies in his Netflix queue to movies about cheating. Then gave 5 stars to all the chick flicks I could find in the romance genre so they would constantly be suggested for him in the future. Told all her family she was a cheating whore and lost her nudes folder on the internet with over 6,000 pics and hundreds of videos. Her mom actually blamed me after I told her to. The real best revenge is to move on, heal, get jacked, gain 6 figures of net worth, and do crazy stuff like mountaineering and skydiving for casual weekend hobbies. I went to pick up the last few things from her house. She had just started a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle, so I stole a single piece. My spouse cheated on me 25 times that I know about. How do I know this? Because she made a list of 28 names with dates and locations. I was number 3 and all 25 after me were while we were actively married. Granted, I knew she had been cheating. I was deployed 3 separate times between all of them. To say it was a toxic relationship was an understatement. I had a child with her and so I stayed. The last person I actually caught her with in my bed was from my church. She always said, if I did not do, enter excuse, then she would not cheat. I did not even want revenge. I just wanted my kids and I to be happy. So when I caught her I just said, yeah, done. And with the other man still in my bed she said, if you leave me I'll kill myself. Normally I'd say please baby do not. It's not worth it. This time I just said, bye. Ever since then I have gained full custody of my 2 beautiful children. And I could not be more happy. So my revenge was just finally being happy. Honestly. At least you had a witness to why she should not have custody. It's funny, my ex grew up super conservative. Strict morals and parents always judging. When I told them I was breaking up with their daughter, the mother says I knew a marriage to a sinner like you would not last. I was kind of flawed. Wait, it's my fault your daughter cheated on me? No. It's actually your super conservative upbringing that caused you to not openly go for the things that she wants because she feels bad. So she sneaks behind your back and does what she wants. Then compartmentalized it so she stays gooily free and convinces herself she's a good Christian. The best revenge was success. I decided I wasn't going to fall into turmoil like I had before and instead kept my malarkey tight. Started applying to jobs a bit higher than my league. Got one. Moved away. And recently bought an engagement ring for someone worthwhile. Also, therapy. Instead of falling apart, I put myself together. She cheated and then left town to go back to the base we were both stationed at before we both left active duty. After I filed for divorce, I rented a storage container, put her stuff in it, and paid for 1 month of storage, and mailed her a key, and said she had 1 month to come and get it, or it would be auctioned off. One of the boxes had a layer of her stuff she really wanted. 1 layer of every picture, note she sent me, mementos and our wedding album, and then another layer of more of her stuff. I then found out what day she was coming to get the stuff from one of our mutual friends. The night before, I drove back to our old base and hung out with friends. The day she came to pick up her stuff she called me and asked if we could meet to talk about things. I told her no, since I was in her town, not mine, and that we never needed to speak again. Only time I have ever purposely made someone cry. I do not regret it. She cheated on me at least 5 times with random dudes. I stayed for my beautiful, wonderful stepchildren. She eventually left me for some guy who got out of prison for child pornography. She's still with him. But it turns out laws on where sex offenders live are pretty strict in most states. I have gotten her evicted from her home 4 times and counting. My kids are with their grandma because I have no legal rights. But at least I know they are safe. It's sort of a hobby. Power move. While moving out I did not want to be destructive or petty. But my sister was helping me and she sure did. I did not let her destroy any of his video games or DVDs. But he has minor OCD about them so ... She opened all of them and put the discs all back in random cases. Then put them all back on the shelf in random order. Then she hid a pair of thong panties in his bed for his mistress to find. And there was a disposable camera from I cannot remember what that had a few pictures left on it. If he ever gets in developed, he will be greeted by the sight of her asshole. My family is the best. Wait. Greeted by the sight of your sister's asshole? I'm confused. That's not revenge. It's an unexpected bonus. It was explained to me when I was in that if you're stationed overseas with a spouse and get divorced, the military will pay for their ticket back home for up to 1 year after the papers are signed. I was in Guam and the guy on my boat that me ex cheated on me with had to have back surgery in Hawaii. I found out that she went with him, so I immediately ran to the JAG and let them know, and he literally high-fived me that we didn't have to pay for that bitch's flight. Flights to and from Guam are expensive af. Go enjoy the girls at G-Spot. What is G-Spot? Strip club? A fine establishment where entrepreneurial young women can raise money for college $1 at a time. Living life well and eventual forgiveness. This is the only real answer. Spend some time being angry, cry, write their name in the sand, and then piss on it, etc. Then say duck them, and move on to better things. Yeah, well, sometimes assholes end up dealing with other assholes and it's beautiful. Not everyone can be wholesome and it's for the greater good of entertainment. Listen to Amateur Hour over here. The real answer is bees. I remember one of my buddies, as a joke to get back at his ex, decided to buy using her credit card 50 packs of extra small condoms online and have it sent to their front door. The obvious joke being that her new fling had a small dick and cold not satisfy her as much. She ended up calling the police on him because of this, and he ended up being forced to pay $5,000 in damages. I hate stories like this. Yes, it's malarkey for the other person to involve themselves in a marriage, but he is not the one in the marriage. The wife is. This reads like the ex had no repercussions at all, while she should have been the only one to receive repercussions. It's one thing to be malarkey, it's another to be malarkey to the wrong person when it was the ex that broke a contract. If he used her credit card without her permission. ISN not that stealing, yes. When I found out my ex-wife was cheating, we had a long talk and she was sorry blah blah. I told her I needed a couple of days to think. After a day or two, I told her that I would forgive her under one condition. She had to find me a woman to sleep with to make us even. After about a week she arranged for a friend of hers and I to meet for the weekend. I banged her all weekend, and when the ex went to work on Monday, I moved all my stuff and myself out and divorced her. Cheating ex lead to all of our friends saying I abused her after we broke up due to her cheating. None of my friends believed her, and a few of her friends I met were skeptical enough to text me and ask. So one of her best friends, she had two, who were sisters, texted me and asked me, so I told her the truth and she apologized for knowing and not telling me she was hanging out with other guys. I said it was alright and asked if she wanted to get a drink. We didn't hooked up a few times that week and hung out at her house. Then a week or so later I ended up hooking up with her other best friend who was the first best friend's sister. When my ex found out she blew up my phone and apparently went to her best friend's house yelling at them from outside their house till the cops showed up and made her leave. TLDR, ex cheated so I ducked her two best friends. I ducked her other boyfriend. LMAO story please see. Alright, story time I guess. So this happened almost a year ago. I know the post says spouse, but I'm 18. So she was my girlfriend at the time and we had been dating for a little over a year at the time. The person she was cheating on me with was one of my best friends and he and I both worked at a seafood restaurant over the summers and had been for a couple years. I had been suspicious of those two having a thing going on for about a month and I decided that after our shift ended, usually around 11:30 p.m, since we were closing, what usually would happen would be we would finish, smoke a joint out on the harbor, and then go home. He ran out to his car to grab a lighter, leaving his phone right on the wooden boardwalk thing, and I happened to know the password. I checked his messages with the girl, and just as I suspected, yup, they were banging. I confronted him as soon as he got back, and his response was essentially, why not form a love triangle? And, being high after, decided that it would be a spectacular idea to duck in the walk-in refrigerator, which actually got us fired. But hey, at least I learned I was B that day. So for 3 months after this happened, I had both a girlfriend and a boyfriend, until we all started hating each other because we were constantly fighting for each other's attention. Moral of the story: do not try this at home, kids. WTF. Okay lol. Yeah, junior/senior year was a wild time. Well, apparently mine was to fake an attempt to reconcile with her. Make her do things like cut off contact with the ex, be honest with me, and tell me the entire extent of the affair. Tell her parents as they thought I was beating her all the time. Cut off contact with anybody else who encouraged or knew about the affair and did not tell me. When I realized that I basically had to force her kicking and screaming to do these kind of things, I decided that I needed to work on me more than I needed to force somebody to do something they didn't want to do. However, since leaving, she has actually started to make an effort. I'm currently the belief so that I need some time by myself, so it's not an option getting back together. So this one time an ex and I were arguing at the time of dating cause he was acting psycho. When he started to leave my house, he said that's why the whole time we were together I was cheating on you, and slammed the door. Don't know what came over me. I guess my brain shut off and I took all his malarkey out to my room, started cutting up the clothing that I'd purchased, threw it all in the dumpster, and broke his cell phone and threw it in the dumpster. It was horrible that I did that. Later down the line we talked and I apologized for everything I'd done, and he told me what he said wasn't true. He was just trying to get under my skin. In today's age, I think I'd just walk away and go on about my business and deal with the hurt. Mamma mia pizzeria, you arrived at the end of video. Now is time for the end wrap. If you are new, you did not expect that. Stay tuned for more gas new videos up fast now. Please leave a like or a man named Mike will steal your bike. Either way, you are still a baller. Comment something down below that will make folks holler. Now goodbye.